And welcome back, guys, and this is Mikeratto, and welcome to a new episode of Heel versus Face. We're going to talk about the charismatic enigma himself, Jeffrey Nero Hardy. Jeff Hardy is actually one of the most famous baby faces in the pro wrestling industry. And while, yeah, we saw him as more of a babyface rather than a heel persona, unlike the others, which composes of Randy Orton, Edge, and many more on our list in the heel versus face series on our last episodes. But we're going to talk about him regardless, but he's more known as a babyface guy because while he can do high risk, that actually was applauded by the people themselves. And yeah, Jeff Hardy, when he actually had his stint in the indies, though I don't recall that much of it, when he and Matt are actually competing on the indies before they competed on the WWE. Well, they are actually jobbers in 1994 when they debuted, and I think it is 1994 or 1990 somethings. But yeah, they don't have the star power yet, and they were not that recognized that much until 1998 or late 1999 when Edge and Christian and them started to have their rivalry. And I think there's a struggle between the two teams, and Gangrel also becoming part of that rivalry, betraying Edge and Christian and siding with the Hardys. Though I'm not sure if the Hardys are actually heels that time or they were still babyface. Well, Gangrel betrayed them regardless and actually had the storyline with the money of that ladder match. So I don't know if I'm gonna count it as a heel turn, or they're still baby faces, or they're acting tweeners, or whatnot during that time. Just take note of that first storyline, which Edge and Christian, Gangrel, and I think I forgot who's the female wrestler is, or manager, and then the Hardys. In the 2000s, well, the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian were known for their tag team matches, especially the TLC matches. And most of this time, while they are switching tag team gold between each other, and somehow other teams are getting involved in this tag team title hunt because while during this time also, the tag team division is having the spotlight that previous years they don't have that much attention. Fast forward to the end of 2001 when Matt actually turned heel. Jeff Hardy also had a singles run. Though as a tag team, while Jeff Hardy found his first Intercontinental Championship and win it by defeating Triple H. I apologize for the rain, guys, but it's going to continue. And as for that, well, Jeff Hardy continued his career now as a singles competitor after 2001, while he is most favorable against the Hardys. Well, I'm not sure if Matt turned on 2001 or rather 2002, but the Hardys are somehow reuniting sometimes or they don't. Well, yeah, they're actually featured in most television. In 2002, I think Matt Hardy really turned heel. They just have this little storyline between each other in 2001. So I stand correct myself. In 2002, they have this rivalry with Brock Lesnar, with The Undertaker, and many main event guys that are actually heels that WWE is actually focused to. After their split in 2002, Matt Hardy found his career as the V1, and Jeff Hardy is still competing on Raw, maybe fighting for the mid-card title and winning some of the mid-card titles. And in 2003, before Jeff Hardy actually left the WWE for the first time, well, they actually had this somehow heel turn storyline which he attacked some of the superstars in the mid card that are baby faces, but I think that storyline didn't come into fruition well because Jeff left the company. In his TNA run, in his first run, well, I don't recall that much, but I do know is he doesn't have that much heel turns here. He returned 3 years later in 2006 when he interrupted Edge, and his career in the WWE started to rise also in 2008. In 2007, while he is in the mid card or actually having a tag team with Matt Hardy again as the Hardys reuniting once again. And then after that in 2008, well, the push actually started. First, the Intercontinental Championship, which he won by this time 4 times, I think. And then later that year, well, WWE is having the sympathy for fans for Jeff Hardy to actually made him chase WWE Championship, which he failed in a lot of his first matches, and even debuting this new gimmick, which he actually had face paints. And when he had this face paint, well, luckily for him, he won the championship there and then. He got the biggest reception in Armageddon, which he defeated Edge and Triple H during that match. But the title reign is not that much long, while he lost the title to Edge at the Royal Rumble. After being beaten by Edge, well, it was because also of the heel turn of Matt Hardy. Wow, so imagine this. The guy who screwed you out of the championship is your brother, who he helped the guy who actually stole his girlfriend 4 years ago. Isn't it amazing? But the storyline between the brothers, talking about their life, comparison about their fan support, especially the family problems between the two, and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy having the storyline up to WrestleMania 25, where the two feuded, which Matt won, and then Jeff Hardy winning the match afterwards. I'm not sure if it is Judgment Day or Extreme Rules, which Jeff won the ladder match. And then after that, while Jeff refocused himself and wins the World Heavyweight Championship 4 mere minutes before CM Punk cashes in. And this was his last storyline in the WWE in his second run against CM Punk, which he actually lost the title to him, then win it and then lost it, and then the last match between the two, which Jeff was defeated by Punk, which WWE has plans to actually help him recover of his issues in life, especially that he was known for his medicines and all of those. While Jeff left the company after that. And in 2010, he debuted for TNA, which he was there. And then the 10-10-10, you all remember that, when Jeff Hardy, Hulk Hogan, and Eric Bischoff formed this group. If it is Immortal, I forget the group. If it is Immortal, but this group actually, well, Jeff Hardy is one of its main characters and is actually the heel champion of TNA, which he regrets everything that he does for his own body just to get the applause from the crowd. That's the storyline, which we saw this new Jeff Hardy, and this is the first time that actually people seen him as a heel and as a major heel too. Though before he has this thesis, but unlike now, he is playing the role as a heel. So he feuded with Mr. Anderson, he feuded with a lot of guys in the TNA roster before the Sting accident, which actually exposes Jeff Hardy for all of his problems before, and it was featured on television when he was actually challenging Sting for the world title. I'm not sure if he's the champion or is the challenger by this point, and that actually had a lot of issues, especially for the fans who bought tickets for that event, and they were screwed because of Jeff Hardy having his own problems. When he returned in TNA, he remained as a babyface, chasing for the world title, feuding with a lot of heels, and in 2016, well, the biggest storyline yet happened. The Broken Hardy storyline, which actually featured the crazy Broken Matt Hardy, and this new crazy Jeff Hardy, which is known as Brother Nero. Also in 2014, let's all remember the Willow character, which she actually brutalizes all the people who actually destroyed Jeff Hardy in the past by being Willow, these alter characters. And also H-Weed, which is actually one of Jeff Hardy's, again, one of his alter personas in TNA. So Jeff Hardy has a lot of characters in TNA that was actually featured on television and was showcased. So this set new of characters, as I told you, while when they actually debuted on ROH and a lot of indie wrestlings because of this broken character, while they focus on this broken character. And the characters were actually over because they were actually catchy, and most of Matt Hardy's facial expressions were mostly put into memes, just like Jericho here in 2020. So for Jeff Hardy, well, he is again the second Hardy, and Matt is now actually the leading Hardy when in terms of popularity. And after that, well, they returned into the WWE, which they actually feuded for the tag team championship, because when they returned, they won the Raw tag team titles. And when they won the titles, well, they feud with it and lost it to the Bar, which they turned heel and having this match yet again, and they screwed up. And after that, well, Jeff and Matt actually got separated in 2018 or 2017 also, when Jeff was actually drafted to SmackDown, which by this time he's still a babyface. Well, after that, Jeff Hardy is actually chasing for the Midgard title, the United States title. And then I think he was having problems after that, his personal problems yet again catching up to him, and he was out for the WWE yet again. And he also chased for the WWE title, but he failed before that incident. And when Jeff Hardy returned, well, they won the SD tag team titles, but unfortunately for them, I forgot who was injured and the Hardys, if it is Jeff or Matt, but they dropped the tag team championships. And then after that, I think it was Jeff, maybe. And then that's the problem happening also in the same time. And then after that, Jeff Hardy returned to television this year. And then when he returned, he had this feud with Sheamus, which they talk about Jeff Hardy's former problems. And by this time, well, which character will people think that I preferred of Jeff? And that is for being a babyface. Though he was excellent as a heel, people remind themselves of Jeff Hardy when you hear a babyface, a hero, a guy who we want to cheer because of his stunts, that he actually want to do things to make the crowds cheer for him. And it was actually crazy that he is willing to risk his body by jumping on a lot of things that actually most wrestlers don't do. But if you're in the indies, you will see a lot of this, especially today, when the wrestlers are actually having moves and impressive move sets that was performed in a higher risk. But I think Jeff Hardy is one of the most innovators of this wrestling movesets where he actually sacrifices his body by jumping into a tall building or tall whatever you may call it, stage set, trucks, ladders. Yeah, when you see it today, you will see in the indie circuit a lot of wrestlers doing this, or they're actually over exaggerating some moves because some wrestlers like Randy Orton, who actually dissed the indie wrestlers during the time because of a tweet by Randy Orton which actually wrestlers mock the RKO, which is actually found on YouTube. Jeff Hardy is well known for being a babyface, and that's it for this segment for this heel versus face. And also, he has this one memorable heel turn. If he performs more of a heel more and rather than a babyface, people can actually be reminded of him being a heel. That's it for today, and this is Mikeratto, and that's my video. And for the next poll, I'm gonna put a new poll for this Hill versus series. Subscribe now, guys, and let's reach 1,200 subscribers or even 2,000 subscribers. Yeah, we need to reach more subscribers so we can reach for these topics to everyone who wants to watch our videos. So thank you guys and have a good day. Again, I apologize for the rain sounds. Because of having a tropical cyclone slash typhoon in our country, which is actually the reason why I didn't record yesterday, but I had to put this episode, because it is most awaited also. I also apologize for the audio quality, because there's a typhoon. Unlike the previous videos, which we have more clearer audio. And my voice is actually having some difficulties now. I don't know why, but it's not any sickness. So yeah, thank you for watching, and this is Mikeratto, and subscribe for more videos. Peace.